panel session of the morning, and I'm just going to give us a second to bring things onto stage. For this next session, it's a local one about a project here in the Basque Country, and we're going to welcome to the stage Joseba García-Garaigoordobil, Managing Director of Energy Intelligence Center, David Carrascosa, CEO of Saitec Offshore, Guillermo García-Miguel, Head of Product at H2 Site, and the moderator for this session. Welcome to the stage, Ander Muñoz, Director of Strategic Initiatives at Beaz, and they're going to discuss a platform for scaling green energy solutions, Bizkaia. Let's have a round of applause and welcome them to the stage. There you go.
Thank you. Perfecto. Okay, let's see. Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. So, scaling energy technologies requires more than innovation. It requires real industry environments where solutions can be tested, validated, and deployed. I think this is something common for an industry, but you are well aware that in the energy sector, this is probably more important than ever. So Bizkaia, this territory brings together industry, infrastructure, and public support, helping companies access talent, financing, and the right environment to scale. Today, this is going to be the topic for the session. We want to focus on a simple question. What is what actually makes the difference when scaling green energy solutions, and how does an ecosystem like Bizkaia contribute to that journey? So let's please start by hearing from you. Just one, two sentences to introduce yourselves, who you are, what you're working on, what problem you're solving, how do you scale it. Just let's keep it brief and then we'll dig deeper, okay? Okay, we can start with you, Joseba.
Perfect. Good morning. Thank you very much for inviting us to this event. Very, very special for us to be in Bilbao, here in our city, in our region. So, very, very special. The Energy Intelligence Center is a private and public institution that we are trying to promote the decarbonization in our economy. Have you listened to me? No?
Working so.
No? 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 Yes? Now? Yes, okay. I repeat. The Energy Intelligence Center is a private and public institution that we are promoting the decarbonization of our economy towards, in this process, the energy transition, but it's really, really important for us maintaining the competitiveness in our economy. We have a very strong industrial sector, and it's necessary with this energy transition and process to the decarbonization, but taking care, maintaining the competitiveness in our economy and in our industry. And so we are trying to promote Bizkaia and the Basque Country with one of the leadership in this energy transition around the world.
Thank you, Joseba. David.
Thank you also for having us here. We're very happy to be speaking at the Energy Tech event. So my name is David. I'm the CEO at Saitec Offshore Technologies, and we focus on floating offshore wind. And for those who are not very familiar with the technology, is basically bringing wind energy to deep waters. And basically bringing wind energy to deep waters means innovation, and there's where we are. Okay, so we've been working on the development of the technology for the last 12 years. And now we've got full-scale prototype up and running, 2 kilometers offshore of the Bizkaia region, and actually for those who came by plane to Bilbao and were window seat, sometimes you can see the turbine up and running. So happy to discuss about interesting topics around.
Thank you very much. Guillermo.
Yeah, so, well, nice to see you all and good to be with my colleagues here today. So I work in Haze2Site, and Haze2Site is a company. What we do is membranes for hydrogen purification. No? So what we are doing is not just the typical applications that you're going to see are producing or using it, etc. What we do is actually developing that market that will enable the transportation of the hydrogen over long distances. No? So that's what we do. What I do in the company is the strategic part and the product development, and obviously what we're going to talk today is very relevant to what we do day to day.
Thank you very much. Okay, that I think helps set the scene for today. So if we don't have that much time, let's get deeper, okay, into each of your projects and context. So let's start, for example, with David. Could you please describe to the audience a little bit the SAF project, technology, etc. Well, what stage are you in right now?
Yeah, perfect. So actually, almost 14 years ago, we ran into this offshore wind market with an idea of, okay, let's provide something that really would enable let's say the broader offshore wind resource to be accessible. We were not the first in becoming involved in what we call floating offshore wind, but we were one of the first in getting a bit of a different approach, not from the oil and gas view, but more from the civil engineering approach, meaning that we are using concrete as the main foundation material. So the progress from that initial issue of the patent and very technical days and it's been amazing. We've gone through a lot of key adventures and key milestones, reaching to a point where the DemoSat, which is our 2 megawatt real scale demonstration, has been finally connected to the grid in Spain, being actually the first project to deliver electricity in the country from floating offshore wind. Through the way and also in terms of investment, I think it's also key to understand that the merging and the balance between private and public investment plus public support is obviously fundamental for these projects to develop. And in our case, on the private side, we have Saitec Group, as we are part of it, putting quite a lot of effort, but also having strong investment partnerships with RWE or Kansai Electric Power Corporation, two super big utilities in the energy domain. And then on the public sector, we have very interesting supports from SPRI here in the region, the Basque EBE, which is the Basque energy entity here in the region, and actually from your side at Beaz, the support has been also fundamental in allowing the project to benefit from this tax lease tool that we will probably discuss afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In fact, my next question was a little bit related to that. So I was going to ask how do you finance, how do you de-risk projects of this scale? More or less, you told us a little bit, but I want to dig a little bit deeper into these tax schemes. I think you took advantage of, no, research and development.
Yeah. So what I have found out in discussions with other executives in the field is that tax lease is not an easy tool to manage in other regions and in other countries. Sometimes it has to be developed through different SPVs, and then the mechanisms are not crystal clear, right? So what you did here, it's actually a very interesting development, which is basically, okay, we've got the tax lease opportunity, so let's regulate it. Let's then contact companies with great EBITDAs that can basically have a tax reduction with startups that actually require the investment, that are generating a lot of tax lease, but they cannot basically apply that into their balance sheet because the EBITDAs are not there yet, and then that will go over and over and over, and being, let's say, under, let's say, a regulated framework, this gives a lot of security and let's say comfort to companies like us. And actually, we funded almost 20% of the investment for the demonstration project through this tax lease incentive process. So very relevant to us.
Yes, because I think also for the audience, this demonstration project in your case is like a huge demonstration project.
It is.
It's not a small scale.
It is. It's a few millions, let's say. I mean, it's confidential figures, but no, quite a few. Quite a few.
Big, even in physical size.
Yes, right? That's it.
Yeah. Okay, so you feel that these projects, I guess, I don't know, would it be possible to have them at the same speed, without these ecosystem frameworks that
definitely not. And again, we've been offered to work with tax lease and like other kind of frameworks and things develop on a much lower pace. And if no, let's say, tax lease incentives were there at any point, well, we would have suffered to let's say put the whole financing structure together, because we are all investing relevant cash into a demonstration project that is not profitable by itself. It's like bridging the let's say the innovation gap towards what will be the profitable projects. So it is a huge effort for everyone. So obviously a tool like this is fundamental.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go with Guillermo. No, let's go from a, let's say, corporate spin-off that has taken size to a pure startup. No, that's also scaling fast. So could you please explain to the audience, to us, hydrogen on site, or what's hydrogen for you? No, what do you do in the field of hydrogen? How do you scale it? What stage are you in?
Yeah, so the company, well, is long gone. So I mean, it's been going for a long time, and many of you in the room will relate to this. When you develop this tech, it's not something that you do overnight. No, so the company has been established for almost 6 years now. And we have gone from, well, 1 or 2 people running the company, 3 people, to the 70 that we are today, and we need to keep scaling for the next phases. No? So we have 2 or 3 phases ahead of us in the next coming years that are going to be developing. No? When we talk about hydrogen, it is a race, it is a global race. No? So we're not working just alone in a market that will develop steadily. So anything that happens in the world is going to affect how the hydrogen is going to develop, and we need to adapt to it. No? So as we have been going up, we have been establishing different strategies that will allow us to navigate those phases. But we had that from the beginning. Is people say that is luck, but I don't think that is luck. No, it's an ecosystem that works. No, from even those 6 years is not really the length of the life of H2Site. No, it started even 12 years before that when the Technology Research Center started developing some technologies, working with the government as well to bet for something that in the future may mean something for the economy. No? So those steps have been long, and still there is a long time to reach the full maturity. No? But we have found a different way of capitalizing the growth into different vehicles in this region. No? We couldn't have done this in other regions. We work with other companies all over the world, and we don't see any of them having the facilities or the companion that we have in here. No? There is an open conversation in both sides, and we develop things initially, R&D, then we move into trials, and then you see that you have an ecosystem. Every time that we have a project, we use around 120 suppliers, and those 120 suppliers, 99% of them are in a radius of less than 100 kilometers from our factory. No? So that is something unique, especially in deep tech. But also, there are other companies that are big companies that already have established in the market, already have the power to move, and they say, well, I believe in you because you are nearby me, and I'm going to help you. No? So that ecosystem that can help you in those many steps and in that different ways, it is something that we have, it is unique, it is very helpful, and we have found it here. No? So.
Yeah, so it's probably one of the most relevant aspects, like having the entire value chains, no? in a small radius, let's say. That's I agree, it's critical. Speaking about the specific instruments or support mechanism that you have taken advantage of, not to overcome your challenges in scaling, which ones would you, or what would you highlight in that sense?
So I will highlight something that is not so much seen as a support, but it is really a support. That is the number of research centers that are in the region, no? And that is the seed of this company. No? So having that has meant that this technology has been invented in here, and it has also allowed us to have something that it was ready to be scaled up. No? So not ready for market, but ready to scale up. There is this kind of, local horizon, no? the Saitec, and that is a really good help because you can present whatever is in your mind that you think that is going to be profitable. No? So you are not tied to certain threads or development, etc. But you can say, well, I'm developing this. Your government, are you willing to support in this? And the government is also always willing. No? So even if it is really low TRLs to the larger TRLs, you will always find support in the different stages in there. I think that is the most relevant one when you are in a stage similar to us. But then you have also people coming from all over the world that you have incentives to bring them in. I come from the UK, so I have seen those facilities myself. But also Beaz is part of our capital stack. We had support when open up conversations with different customers when we're smaller than we are. We had advantage as well when we are opening new markets and opening new regions, and those different segments and those different capital ways of developing the company have a counterpart in the government support that we have seen.
Okay, thank you very much. Joseba, yours is a bit different project, no, from the other ones. Tell us a little bit, please, about the Energy Intelligence Center, because it's quite new approach to the sector. Tell us a little bit of what you do, then I'll ask you about some specific projects you have.
We are, of course, our project is in collaboration. We are working together with different companies, but at this moment we are focusing on 3 projects. The first one.
Sí, otra vez.
The first one. Yes, sí, perfect. And the first one is the Renewable Fuels Hub. Here the objective is to define the technological development in the renewables fuel, but according with the company needs. We are very focused in the different needs with the companies, which is the development necessary in technological lines. For this project, we have defined a roadmap. A roadmap with 3 different phases. The first one is to identify the technological lines we want to work in the future, but according with the company's needs, very focused on the company needs. The second one is to get together with the Basque Science, Technology and Innovation Network in the Basque Country. We have a very strong technological center and university. So I'm working together, developing the capacities we need for these technological lines we have defined. And the third phase, is to invest in the infrastructure is necessary to test the different developments in the technological lines. We have just finished the roadmap at the end of the summer, and so we have defined to work in 28 technological lines. And about hydrogen, about biofuels, about synthetic fuels, and CCU2. We began we defined at the beginning around 60 possible technological lines, but we have defined to be focused in these 28 technological lines. And in parallel, we have defined 23 infrastructure projects and pilot projects is necessary to develop, to test all the technological lines. Okay. That's the first one. The second one is really important for us, for this region, for the Basque Country. The name is the Hard to Zero. Here we are concentrating in the hard-to-abate sectors. As you know, this sector, there are problems within the decarbonization. They are on a high dependence on oil fuels, and in some of the cases with important CO2 emissions. So we are working together with this sector, defining the infrastructure they need for the future. And we have just finished the first part. When we are working the hard-to-abate sector, we are talking about refinery, petrochemicals, cement companies, steel companies, and glass companies. We have a strong sector here, and so it's really important to work together in this process. And finally, the third one is the decarbonized mobility ecosystem. In this one, we are working in hydrogen and mobility. We are building at this moment close to the Energy Intelligence Center and a refueling station to test all the value chain, in the hydrogen with the different tests and with the different companies to test what is necessary for the future. Because we consider the hydrogen one of the important points in this decarbonization, in this energy transition.
Okay, thank you. So we've seen 3 different approaches to tackle the energy transition. Company spin-off, let's say, startup or technology center spin-off, turn into a startup that's now growing, and a different kind of project, an infrastructure that somehow groups the sectors and the major players' needs, for the near future and for the, well, not just near future, but for the future. So, in order to give closer to this round table, I'd like to ask a practical question for all of you. So, what do you say is the most important thing that help scale a solution like in the energy sector, okay? And specifically, or in addition to that, why or how would the ecosystem of Bizkaia help on that? Why would somebody choose Bizkaia in order to develop that? It's 2 questions for all of you. We have still 7 minutes, so for example.
Answer to the second question, I think we have a very important ecosystem here in the Bizkaia, in the Basque Country. We have strong companies in the energy sector. We are talking about Petronor,
and Iberdrola, that they are very involved in this process. They know very well it's absolutely necessary. It's a challenge, but it's a need. And the second point, we have a strong industrial sector that they need is this process is absolutely necessary, and they are very focused. The third point, we have a Basque science, technology, and innovation network really, really strong. We are talking about 21 agents in universities, technological center. And the last point, but really, really important for me, is the public administration. We have here in Bizkaia and in the Basque Country a very close public administration. They are very focused in the problem and working together in this energy transition and in this process. And here in Bizkaia, we have an additional capacity, we have an autonomy in the tax, and we are able to work together looking for the best solution in this process.
Okay, thank you very much. David?
Yeah, so very much aligned with Joseba. There is, I think, one thing, a couple of things I would highlight. On the funding part of it, the blending of private commitment with, let's say, public support in different structures is very relevant. Having local administrations that really support the innovation is crucial to, let's say, generate and incubate great ideas that then will bring back the value to the region. That's key. And on the other, specifically for wind, where, let's say, the market is hugely dependent on government roadmaps, on bidding structures, on tenders, on how the market is shaped. The understanding of the technology from the early days of the development of a new phase of the industry is very relevant, because both if you overestimate or you underestimate the market, and I think that's similar to hydrogen, that creates quite a tension in the private sector to invest and uncertainty. And actually investors, and obviously we've got here quite a representation on the investment community. They want certainty. They want to have a clear business plan that its foundation is an understandable market size. And that goes through strong statement by governments, roadmaps, and clear regulations.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Guillermo.
So I would say exactly the same as you are saying. So Joseba and David said the 3 points. The industry that is really important, the traction companies that are huge in here and willing to develop, and the government support. But when you are thinking about whether to establish in Bizkaia or not for your deep tech startup, think first about your business plan. So don't think elsewhere. No? So you are the one that has the needs, and in your business plan you're going to see that you need a factory, you need to develop new components, you need people helping, and you're going to find that if you need a factory, you speak to Esprit. If you need to meet with other people, you go to the cluster or the EIC. You need to meet those companies that are able to connect you and to build up with you. So speak to anyone because they're going to help you. You need to bring people to the base country. You have the instruments of talent attraction. You are developing your different steps in the way of the scale-up with different TRLs, Saitec, no? the Horizon-based version. All those things are going to be matching the needs that you have along the way on your business plan. No? So the business plan is your focus, speak to someone in the government and they will say, well, these are my needs. How can you help me? Not the other way around. No? So in many places you see not established methods of supporting startups, let's say just a scattered way of helping you. That is actually more a way of the government to look good rather than a way of helping you promoting your company. No? This is a complex system, and when you see in order, you see that well, you need to develop the company, you need to establish your company, and you need to grow your company. And those loops are going to be virtuous if they combine together with the government. No? I have support, I will create more value, I will bring more people will pay taxes in here, I will even create more value, and I will have my revenue paying in here. No? In the end, that's the two way of winning this math equation.
Amazing. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Guillermo, David, Joseba. We really hope this was useful for you, and I think that I speak on behalf of all of us. Anything you might need, anything you want from us, whatever, please feel free to contact, okay? And if anybody wants to come to Bizkaia, obviously, please contact me, and we will try to help you as we tried to do with the other companies. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.